Okay, so I'll just start by explaining what this is. So when you look at the screen I'm sharing, the snapshots that I took of what we are going to be working on, we have a market corporate business website. In the previous lesson, we looked at HTML tags. Can anyone tell me what type of tag do you think is used to display such text? You can just type in the comment section. What type of tag or what tag do you think is used to create that text? Market corporate business website template. Okay, heading 1, heading 3. Someone is saying it also has a span tag. Okay, so meanwhile, those who have their Notepad++ open, you could be just writing the layout of an HTML page. That's doc type HTML, then the HTML tag, close it, open it, close it. Inside, write the head tag, open it, close it. Inside, you write the title of the page that you're going to be working on, then close it, then open the body tag, and then close it. Is everyone able to see? I have Notepad++ on my left and
Yes.
the image on the right.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so I just picked up where we left this off last time that we were introducing HTML. So I'll just build on this. You can also just build on that or just create a new file by just going to File, New, and you give it a name. The name is here. When you create new file, it creates it with a new name. Just so you just say save as, and you give it your name. I'll call this market.html. HTML, and then I just save. It will be saved in the same folder that I had created called PowerBrains, where the index folder is. Okay.html, and then it is just here, and then it will just be showing on your left. Yes, so you can just copy this and paste it there. Just create new stuff. Okay, yeah. So to run this, I just save, and then to run this, I can just come click here. Run by system, then it will just open. Yeah, as you can see, the file path is called PowerBrains, then the new file that we just created, which is market.html. Yeah, so that's how we shall be running this file. Okay, so let's get into designing this component. So we have many people proposed that market corporate business website template was going to be a heading tag. So some people proposed H1, others proposed H2. Sorry, H3. So let's first remove this. I remove this, and then we start with our H1. Since people proposed that H1 was H1 and H3, so we say market. This should be a dash corporate. This website template. Yeah, we save. So whenever you see it red here, it means you haven't saved. So you need to do Control S, or just come to File, Save. I'll just do a Control S to save it so that it becomes blue, which means you have saved your changes. I'll change the title to market component. Yeah. Okay, I save. And then when I go back to my browser, I'll just refresh. And it's there. Market corporate business website. That's H1, the first heading. So maybe just to give you an overview of what headings are, I'll just duplicate this. So the way to duplicate, I just use the duplicating shortcut. You can just, you put the cursor here and then you do Control D. Or you could do it the amateur way. You highlight, you copy, go here, you hit enter, and then you paste. Or you could do it the geek way, the cool way. Control D, duplicate, Control duplicate. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then don't forget to save, Control S. So we go back to our browser and then we refresh and we have 6 headings. I'll just explain headings, those of you who don't know headings. So there is H1, people proposed H3. So let's just put it here. H3, make sure if you open with H3, you close with H3. Let's call this H2. H2. Then we have H4. H5. H6. And save. So if we come back here, I'll just make this smaller. Actually, I should just do like this. Let me just put it here. So if we refresh, I think you can see the difference. So we have 6 types of headings in HTML that range from H1 to H6, H1 being the biggest and H6 being the smallest in that order. Yeah, so if we compare with our heading here, where do you think this one, the one on the right falls? Is it an H1? Is it an H2, H3, 4, 5, or 6?
This looks like an H1.
Looks like an H1. Okay. All right. Some people might say that it looks like an H1.5. Anyone saying it looks like an H1.5? No one. Okay. To me, it looks like it falls between H1 and H2. Yeah, but since we don't have H1.5 in HTML, we shall go with so nothing like H1.5. I see. You've been saying there's nothing like H1.5. Yes, there's nothing like H1.5 in HTML, but you can actually achieve it, though there is no tag called H1.5. So if you find yourself in such a situation, what you do is you get the smallest. For example, if you get the biggest, which is kind of the smallest. Very confusing. So H2 is smaller than H1, yeah? So you get something that is smaller than what you need, and then we shall use HTML tag attributes to give it a size, and then a strength, or boldness so that it fits in between here, like the 1.5. Yeah. Or you could even get the big one and then make it small by just using those tag attributes. But I think for now, let's just take H1 because it's a bit close. Anyway, H1 or H2 is really close. So we should just pick one. Yeah, so that's basically about headings. Okay, so let's take the H1, save, and reload. Okay, what else do we have here? We have this. What do you think this is? The January 23rd, 2020. 2020. Okay, subheader. Yes, Carlos, subheader, but I want you to put it in an HTML tag. Which HTML tag do you think it is? I could give you hints. It could be a paragraph. It could be a span paragraph. Yes, Bobby is saying it's a paragraph. Alvan, paragraph. Why is it a paragraph? Why can't it be a span or a small heading like H what? Like H4 or H5? As people are still thinking, why? Let's just call it a paragraph because people are saying it should be a paragraph. So paragraphs, we use the P tag, open, close, and then we write our text in here. January 23rd, 2020. There we go. And we save and reload. There it is. So it's a paragraph. What would happen if we use the span? Let's see. Save and reload. Nothing changes. What would happen if we used an H4? And save and reload. Do you see any change? The change I see is this one became bold because headings are really made to be bold, and headings, they clear whatever is on the left and whatever is on the right. So for example, if after this heading we put a paragraph, for example, like choose your plan, like P, choose your plan. If we put this paragraph after that heading and then we reload, okay, a paragraph means go to a new line. I just want to demonstrate that whenever you use a heading, it clears whatever is on the left or right and puts it on a new line. So spans are inline components or attributes. So they are supposed to stay on the same line whenever I use them, yeah? But when you see when we use this span here, it goes on the new line because it follows the heading, and headings clear whatever is put after them and they put them on the new line. So if we return this back to our paragraph and we save and we reload, you can see the paragraph changed the font boldness, but it also cleared this and put it on the new line. But if we called this a span, since spans are inline items, yeah, and then we say save, and then we reload, you can see it is on the same line. It doesn't go on the new line by force, yeah. So just to explain the difference between inline items like a span. So spans are just, they are used to format text. For example, if you have a paragraph and in the middle of the paragraph, you have a word that you need to make bold, you just put that word in a span and then use styles like you say style is equal to what, things like that. Yeah, like style color is equal to red, if you wanted to do that. I can just demonstrate it in such an example. If this is a paragraph, yeah, and then we want 23 to be bold, yeah, so we could just put it in a span like this, just 23 in a span, like that. Should be a closing tag. And then we can style this 23 any way that we want, like style equals color, can say red, yeah, and then we save like that. So when we reload this, you can see our 23 is red. So spans are just used to, if for example, you just want to create a style of a certain piece of text or part of a bigger tag. I hope that is clear. Yeah, but if you want things to automatically go to a new line, you could use tags like the heading tags, the paragraph tag, the div tag. We shall be looking at all of those. Okay, great. All right. So back to our component here. We have finished the heading. We have finished. Let me just undo this. We have finished the January 23rd, which is a paragraph. We called it a paragraph. Okay, save. Still got what we have. Yeah. So you can see that the distance between the heading and the paragraph is a little bit bigger than what we have in our component here. Yeah, but we shall be looking at how we can make it equal. Yeah. So then we go down to this card. This one is called a card because it looks like a card. In HTML developers call them cards. Yeah. So in HTML, if you have something that looks like this and looks like it is popping out of the main page, and it sort of has a shadow around it, it's called a card. Yeah. I see someone is saying it looks like a table. Well, the card might contain the table inside it, but the whole thing is actually called a card. Yes. Okay. So we shall just start working on it. So if you have something like that that has information inside, it is good to call it a div. So a div is a section, is like a section of your page. So we use the div tag. And the way the div tag works is it also has some characteristics like the H1 and the paragraph, the H tags and the paragraph tag. It also clears things that come before it or after it. So it also goes on a new line automatically. So we use a div. You will find yourself using many divs because a web page is actually made up of very many sections. And the best way to design a web page is you first grouping it into sections. So when you look at this, this piece that we are working on, you see there is a section on top here. There's a section called, there's a section that has the heading that we just wrote and the paragraph. And then there's another section that has the card. Those are two sections. And inside this section, inside this card, you can see there are like There are like how many sections? When you look at this starter row, if you had to use a table for this, if you look at this starter, it looks like a section. It has starter, backlink, mandatory. Then on the right where it has free, the whole of this also looks like a section. Then liberty, just everything you see inside the border looks like a section. This looks like a section. This looks like a section. But the section also has subsections inside it. So we shall be looking at how to group things like that. And there's no systematic way to identify sections. You could group things differently, and at the end of it, you have the same front end. What the browser displays is actually the same, but when people have different code, so it's all about how you structure whatever you interpret, and we shall be looking at all that. So we call this a div, and so as you can see, this div, it will have a shadow, because the whole of this card, we are calling it a div. It will have a shadow, and then it will have rounded corners. I think you can see the corners are rounded. And it's as you can see, it has no padding. We shall be looking at all that. So let's see how to write choose your plan, this first component of this section, or div. That div, I think div stands for division, which is like a section. Yeah. So what do you think this is? Is it a heading? Is it a paragraph? Is it a span? What is it? What is it? What it is?
I think it's a heading.
Heading? Which heading?
It's either header 4 or 5. Around there.
Okay, H4. Anyone? Anyone else? Carlos, your hand is up. H5. Isn't an H5 very small? Okay, let's just put it there. Someone said H4. Let's put an H4 and see. Choose your plan. Too small. Close. Save. And reload. Choose your plan. H4. Let's put an H3. I think it's an H3. What do you think? H4. Babi Evra is saying it's an H4, H3. Okay. That's what I also think. Okay, so we are done with our heading. And then, are we even close to getting what we are designing? Is our website getting close to what is on the right? Oh, we are just playing around. What do you think? Are we making any progress? Shall we achieve? A little bit. It needs beautifying, Carlos. Ha! I knew you had to say that, Carlos. Things look ugly, but don't worry. They'll be beautified. You will beautify them. It's close. Yes, we are getting it. We are moving on well. Haha. Okay, nice. All right. So, Carlos, the beautifying will come when we insert the style tag. Yeah, we shall achieve everything that you think is missing in the beautifying part. So let's. The best thing to do is to first lay your content on the page, and then you start beautifying it. All right. So what do we have next? I saw people proposing a table. So the table is fine. I mean, because the table has rows and columns, and as we can see, these borders here, I think they define rows. The starter, where the starter, liberty, and extended. These could be rows. Row 1 starter, and then row 2 liberty, then row 3 extended. And then the columns could be the radio button here on the left, then the div that has starter could be the second column, and then the third column could be where you see the money, the dollars, free, $10, and the $98. It could be a table, yeah. But I don't know if anyone else would suggest any other way of implementing it. Just like I told you that the way you implement something in the code, or the way you write the code might not matter, as long as in the front end, you get exactly what you need. So someone could use a table to get this exact layout, or someone could use some other different components to get this exact layout. So does anyone have any other suggestion apart from using a table to achieve this kind of layout? Any comments? Anyone? You can use HR tag and UL tags. Yes, Mariam is saying we could use an HR tag, which is a horizontal rule. HR tags are used to draw a horizontal line on your page, and UL tags are unordered line tags. Yes, so that's a suggestion from Mariam. Yeah. I don't know if we have the time, we could even just go through all of these. Then Ayub is saying a form with form padding. Wow. Okay. Ayub is suggesting a form with form padding. Any other suggestion? Yes. So Ayub, if you suggest a form, what would you use to display the different fields, the starter, liberty, and extended? What would you use in that case, assuming you're using a form? A form with some padding, yes.
I think if form doesn't work, from the way I've seen, it doesn't work because the form would require some input. It doesn't work. So I withdraw my answer.
I think a form would work if we join it with Mariam's suggestion of using an HR and a UL tags, whereby we encapsulate everything in the form, and then we just put list items. We put starter, liberty, extended as list items. Babi Evra is saying a form requires inputs. Yes, a form requires inputs, and I think we have inputs, right? Because I see a radio button, and a radio button is an input for a form, and we shall be looking at that. Yeah. Great. Okay, everyone, thanks for the suggestions. So I see we have list items, forms with list items, and then we have a table. So I think if time allows, we can go through both. But I think which one should we start with? List items or a table? Votes. Time for voting. Table. Saa ya kupiga kura. Please vote. I really want to see how this is done. Okay, table, table, table. Wow, everyone wants a table. Wani Alvan. Yes, Alvan.
I was voting for table.
Okay, people want to see a table. Great. All right, I'll just get into the table thing, using a table for this thing. All right, so like I described earlier, the table will have table row. So this is the structure. I'll just draw a structure of a table here, right? The table, for a table, we use a table tag. Yeah, close it. Table. And inside the table, let me first do this. I hope you guys know what this means. Indenting, so that when things start getting messy, people might be confused by the code. So we introduce indenting using the tab. I just hit the tab button on tab key on my keyboard. They're usually like 4 spaces. Okay, then so inside the table, so like I said, for nested elements or child elements, we use indenting for readability purposes. So inside the table, since we have nested elements inside the table, we have T head, close it. And then we have T body, the body of the table. Yeah, T body. Inside the T head, we have a row, table row. Very confusing to some people, but I'm going to explain it. Inside the table row, we have columns. Sorry. TH. Oh, here we have 1, 2, 3 columns. Inside the body, yes?
I think we have 1 column.
Why are you saying we have 1 column?
I've seen.
Okay.
I've seen.
Okay. 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 Interesting. So we have 3 rows: starter, liberty, extended. I'm just going to explain everything after writing this. Don't feel confused. Inside the table row. I think you can see the use of indenting. So such code, if you don't indent it, it is really going to mess you up. Like if you start including content in there. So you need to indent so that you know this is nested inside this, yeah? So this is basically the structure of this table. The table has 3 rows and then 3 columns, whereby the first column is this that has these radio buttons. Then the other one, the second one has this content. Second column has the starter, liberty, and extended content and whatever is inside. Then the third one has free $10 and $98. So those are 3 columns. Then the rows are starter, liberty, and extended. Yeah. Yes. So every table usually has a heading where you see the T head tag. This one here. Yeah. So a table has a table head, but our table here on the right doesn't have a table head. So I'll just first put content to just explain this th. All right, so I'll just use this example to explain how a table works. All right, so we save and then we reload. Okay, so we have a table here on the right. We have column 1, column 2, and column 3. In column 1, we have, okay, now we are talking about rows. You have row 1, row 2, row 3. In the first cell, we have row 1, column 1, row 1, column 2, row 1, column 3. I think we are together. This is row 1, column 1. Yeah, it's a column, this is the row. Row 2, column 2. Row 2, column 3. Row 3, column 1. So this is the second column, third column, first row, second row, third row. I think we are together now. I want you to understand the front before I start explaining the code. Yes, clear. All right, I will just explain the code. So the table element has nested elements inside it that help it structure the content that is put inside. So first is the T head, which means the heading of the table. You know, most tables have the heading, like the title of the columns. For example, this could be like names, phone numbers, addresses. So where you see column 1, column 2, and column 3, those are the headings of the table columns. Yeah, and those ones are put inside the T head. But even the T head or the heading of the table has a row. So these columns, column 1, column 2, and column 3 are in a row. I think you can see them. This is a row. Yeah. So inside the T head, we need to first create a row, which is created by TR, which stands for table row. Yeah. But inside the head, because you're working on the heading, so we only need 1 row inside the head because we are going to have only 1 row of headings. So we write table row, open it, and close it here. So inside the table row, in the heading, that's where we are going to write the different columns. So whatever appears inside the row is a column. So the way the table element works is when you need to create a row and then insert columns inside the row. not, well, there are other ways of creating a column and then inserting rows inside it, but we shall look at that later. But most of the tables, they usually create a row and then insert columns inside the row. So in our heading, we have the table row, this one here, which is this row. And then inside that row, we will place the different headings. So to create a heading, you use TH, which means table heading. TH for column 1, I think you can see it here. This one for this, yeah. Then the second column, TH, table heading, second table heading, then the third table heading, which is all here, yeah. Okay, so there we are done with our heading. Our tag is complete. So this is how we create the heading. But if you're to look at our table that you are working on, it doesn't have the heading. So we might need to ignore the whole of the T head in our implementation. But for other tables that have the heading, you need to use this tag, the T head. You create a row, and then inside the row you create headings. Then we got the T, the T body, the body of the table. Now the body of the table is what contains the content that you want to display. For example, if you have a list of candidates, a list of students that you need, everything will go into the T body, like the body. It's like writing an article. You have the heading or the title, and then the body. So the body has the content. Yeah. So the same thing inside the T body. We need rows, and each row represents a student. Like for example, in this case, each row will represent a student. Yeah. So we create a table row. This row that you're seeing here, TR, which stands for table row, is the first row that you're seeing here. Yeah. As you can see, it has columns also. The first column is row 1, column 1, row 2, column 2 here. Then row 3, column 3. Yeah. So once you're done with that, you close that table row tag, and then you open another row. Yeah. Which also has its content like that, and then you close the table.
My question is whether you can implement a table without a table header.
Yes, that's possible.
Thank you.
And okay, thank you. That's possible, and that's what we are going to do for our example, because our example doesn't have the heading. Okay. So, like Ayub asked, that is it possible to write a table without a table header, T-head, table heading? So let's remove it and save, and then we see if it is possible. Yes, and we got rid of our table head. So we can just have a table with results, which is, I think, the same case with our table, because we don't have a heading here. So we shall just have our rows. Yeah. So let's see, we have 3 rows. Our first row is here. So starter will take our first row, and the first one is an input, is a button. Yeah. So in T tabular data, T data, the first one should be an input. So input is a tag that is used to create forms. We shall be looking at forms later. These inputs have types. This type will be, it's radio, because it's a radio button. We shall look at all these types later. Yes, and the name, what should be the name? I don't think we need that for now. All we need is an input of type radio. It should be able to put for us a radio button here. We save, and then we refresh. And we have our radio button here, which is clickable, by the way. Isn't that amazing? Okay, so we are done with that. And we see every row has a radio button. So why don't we just copy this and put it in every first column of every row. Copy first column of every row, we paste it to replace our text and save. Yeah, so when we reload our page, the first column is made up of radio buttons. And yes, even here, the first column is made up of radio buttons, right? Right. All right, so we are done with the first. We are done with the first column. I think we are getting there. Not so. All right. So what's next? So when you look at this starter, like I had mentioned earlier, it looks like a section. And for sections, we use divs. And since the div is going to be a bit long, it will allow me to nest it inside the tabular data like this. It's also going to have child elements. So that's one of the reasons why I'm nesting it. And close it. And inside this div, we have, what do we have? We have this, I think it looks like a heading because it is bold and a bit bigger. So we give it a heading what? Heading 3, H3. Yeah, and it's called starter. What else do we have? What are these? This and this. I know some people have done some reading, some people have done some HTML. Please tell us, what are these? Using single domain, what tags should we use to implement these? What do they look like? Yes, name could be basic package. Create rows and yes, Alvan.
Saying unordered list.
Unordered list, which is which? Just name it. You know, those two things are confusing. There is ordered list. Okay, there is unordered list and then an unordered list. So just name them like ordered list or unordered list. Are you be saying using disk as type? What is disk? Okay, Alvan is saying UL. UL is unordered list, like with a U, not an A. Unordered, like a list which is not ordered. Yes, so people were trying to avoid lists, but it looks like we shall have a table and lists inside, so we shall not be skipping lists. So people are talking of unordered lists. So let me just do a quick one about lists here. So we have unordered lists and ordered lists. So let's first do an unordered list here. Okay. So you use the UL tag to have a list, and inside you have the list items with LI, which means list. And close the list. Okay, so let's just do 2 since our example has 2. Duplicate, indent. Let's put backlink mandatory. Mandatory. And then the second one is contact form with 50 entries per month. $50 entries per month. Okay, so that's basically an unordered list. Use UL to hold everything. and then inside it, you nest the list, the different list items. Save. We go back to our site and then reload. So you look at the last 2 lines of this document. That's where I placed them. So we have the unordered list backlink mandatory, which is here, first list item, then the second list item. If you want more items, just like that, you can see. So whichever item you add gets added to the list. Yeah. Okay. So here we have 2 items. And so how an unordered list works, one with a U, unordered list, not ordered list. Okay. It doesn't put numbers because it's unordered. You don't need to see that it's ordered or not. So what it does for it, it puts bullets, bullet points here. As you can see, this is a bullet point, this is a bullet point. So that's how an unordered list works. So in the near future, we shall be looking at how you can actually change this bullet into whatever you want to be put for sort of numbering what appears here. But by default, it puts bullets. And the second one is an ordered list with an O, ordered, O meaning ordered, like it has an order. So all you need is to change the parent tag. You don't need to touch the children because the children all use the LI, the list tag for the list elements. So you just change the O into the UL to get an ordered list. And then when you reload, you see it's ordered. It has numbers 1, 2, 3, and whichever element you add on that list adds to the number. Okay, like that. Yeah. Great. So I think that's it with lists. So in this case, we shall use an ordered list, right? Because it's the one that has the bullets. And when you look at our example, it also uses bullets. So I will just cut this, Control X. And then I come to below starter. Below starter, I paste our unordered list. And then tab, 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 tab. Indent it properly so that it appears as it is under the div, opening div and closing div here, and everything is indented properly. Save, come back to our website and reload. Yes, so we have them here, and let's create for the rest so that our things look orderly. Okay, what do we have? We have a div. So I'll just copy the div for the second column in the second row. This is the second row, and then this is the first column. This is the second column. So inside here, I do this, and then I paste my div there. Yeah. Okay. Then I change the wording. The heading for the second column and second row is liberty. Then I see there is something called recommended. And then I see the first list item. I'm working on this. Use in single domain. Use in single domain. And then I have a contact form with 150 entries per month. 150 entries per month. I think that's done. We can go back to our site. We reload. We didn't save. We save. Reload. And here it is. Yeah. But it looks funny, right? Okay. Never mind. We shall sort that later. Okay. So we go to to this, the third row, second column, extended. Okay, it's here, second column, do the same, paste, it's called extended. Okay, use in multiple domains. That's the first list item. Domains, contact form with 150 submissions per month. 150. So I want to give you a simple trick of highlighting a word. Those of you who don't know, you just double click very fast and then it will highlight that word. Then you can just change it. Submissions per month. Save, reload. And yes, first column, second column. If we compare, I think we are somewhere. Okay, we have the first column, which is the radio buttons. Second column, which has all this, and then the third column. We need to work on the third column now. So our third column is here. We have first column, second column, third column. And when we look at our example here, it has, the first one is free. Okay, so this one is, we have the dollar sign. We have the dollar sign, we have the 0, and it's free. Yeah. Then the second column on the second row here, we have, I'm talking about this one here, $10. 10 Ds. $10. I don't think there's a space. It's $10. Okay, then the third row, third column, we have $98. Save, always save. Whenever you reload things and they're not working, just know you didn't save. All right, I think we have what we need. Maybe something that we might be missing is, you see this $0 looks crossed. So how do we achieve that using HTML? How do we cross something? Who knows how to cross something? You can just tell us. How do you think you can cross something using HTML? Anyone? Anyone did some reading on W3 schools? Anyone? Anyone? Strike tag. Ayub says we use a strike tag. Anyone? Let's be trying Ayub's suggestion. So where is our $0? It's here. So like I said, you could just insert a tag to format something. Ayub said, what did Ayub say? Let me see. Ayub said we use the strike tag. Okay, strike. So is it like strike? Like this? Strike tag? Strike like that. Close. Like that. Save. And reload. What do you think? Did we get what we really wanted? Anyone? Is that what we wanted? I think so. I think that's what we wanted. Yeah? All right. Thank you, Ayub, for that. Does anyone have any other suggestion? How we could do that? Any other way? The del tag. Okay. Ayub suggests another tag. It's called the del delete. Del and save. Come back and reload. And yes, even the del tag works. So the strike tag just strikes through a text. I think it can be better demonstrated if we just used it here on some long text. Strike, strike. Yeah. Save and reload. Yeah, I think you can see here from here. It just crosses through the text. And then the del tag, it just shows you that this text was deleted. And the end result is actually the same. When you strike through something, it means you want to exclude it, or you want to show that it was deleted or it is not needed. And it all does the same thing. So that's how you can achieve crossing out text. Yeah. So let's use the del tag because it's a bit short. And yeah, I think let's do the comparison. How is that? How is that? Our heading is here. Let me actually try to do like this so that it looks a bit the same. Okay. How is that? Someone score us, though we haven't finished. All right. Just before we do something more, let's work on this. This, I think it's a button, right? Looks like a button to me. What do you think? What do you think it looks like? Carlos is giving us 5 out of 10. Wow. Tuchikubye. Not so. Great. Thank you, Carlos. All right. Yes. So I think, yeah, Alvan also thinks it's a button. So let's just work on the button thing. And yes, so after our table, we have this buy now, which looks like a button. And there's actually a button. There's a button tag in HTML. So after the table, we have a button. Yeah. Button. And close the button. Inside the button, what do we have? We have this, I think it's an image and then the text. So I'll just put the image here, IMG, and source to tell the page where to fetch it from on your machine. And then we have the words. Is it a paragraph? Is it heading? What is it? Could actually be just a span. And we just format it, yeah? It could be a span by now. By now, $10. Save. And reload our page. Yeah, our button is there. Wow. Nice. So our button is missing the image. So how do we get the image? I think this is a credit card. Credit card. Looks like a credit card to me. So what I would do, I would just go to Google and look for that credit card. Credit card. SVG. You may look for an SVG image. Okay, images, I see many of them are here. So which one resembles ours? Which one should we pick? It's white. But if it's an SVG, we can always give it any color, right? Yeah. Carlos, you're the guy. You're the man. We can always give any color to an SVG, right? What is SVG? Yes, Carlos. You will help me with such questions. I know you know what it is. Looks like a button on a table footer. Okay, Ayub wants to put a button in a table footer. It's card 15. Card 15, which one is card 15? Alvan, which one is card 15? Isn't it an icon? Yes, Barbara thinks it's an icon. Oh, okay. Alvan has seen it. It's here, card 15. Barbara Cat says, isn't it an icon? An icon is an image. An icon can be an SVG or it can be a PNG or a JPEG. So it could be an icon, yes, that's possible. Yeah. Okay, Alvan says it's here, so I think we shall just go with that. Let me see if it's downloadable. Okay, SVG, PSD. I think you can see. So it's an icon, yes, but it could be an SVG, EPS, PSD. What is this? Photoshop, whatever those things. PNG, or it could be a font. I think what we need is an SVG. Yeah. Okay, I agreed to the license. Embed. So here is the SVG. I could just copy this. Oh. Or I could get a PNG and then they give me an icon of an image. Like so. Yeah. So I will save it where? Where? Photos, other. Hello. Okay. Share screen. All right. So we got our SVG. We got our image. I downloaded it as a PNG. I added it to our folder. I think you can see it here. Okay. It's called icon monostring credit card what.png. So I will just copy file name and then I'll bring it here in source. I'll just put it there and save. And when I reload, it's there. We got our credit card, but it's very fat. Yeah, compared to what is here. Okay, let me see. All right, so what we downloaded is actually not what we needed. I think what we needed was something that doesn't have black so that it could blend with our blue, background blue here. So what we do is, let me see if there's a way we can do this. Black, okay. Can it be opaque? Okay, this is very opaque. Okay. Is this a color? Oh, okay. Let me see if I can get some opacity here. Okay. Oh, this is the size. This is the size, and this is the width, and then this is okay. So I guess for now, since we are not using a PNG, let's just get this color. Where is our color? Let's just get this color. You use our trick, inspect element, and inspect element. We get the background color, which is this. We copy it, and we come here. Okay. We paste it here, like that. Yeah, I think we have the same color. And then we download. Yeah. So we download, we save, go to our downloads. It's here, we copy it. I'll just paste it in my folder. Okay. Let me just delete this old one, and then paste this new one, and then rename it. Move this. Yeah. So we have a new one, and same name. Yep. Back to our website, we reload. Yeah. And we have our color, but the size is big. So this is the comparison that we are making. The size is very big. Our button is here, but this image has a very big size. So the image tag has attributes like width. Come on, this story is hiding. Width here. Width is equal to, for example, it's measured in pixels, so we could say 100. Then height. We could give it a height of, okay, let's not give it a height for now and see how this looks like. Okay, width 100 is big. We give a width of 50. Save. 50 is still big. 20. Comparison. Ish. Ish. Yes, let's go with that. So if you don't give it a height, it will just maintain aspect ratio. Like if it was 100 by 50, and then you make 50 for width, it will maintain the aspect ratio and set an automatic height of half of the height that it previously had. It's also a good trick to keep aspect ratio. Yeah, so we just save and we have our button there. And at this moment, I think we have everything that we needed. Do we? Do we have everything that we needed? Yeah. Comparison, comparison, comparison. Okay. Save. Okay. Okay, let's compare. We have our heading, we have our date, which is here. We have our choose plan, which is here, though it's not centered, but here it's centered, so we shall be working on that. Then we have our table, which has all the content that we need, and then we have the button here. Yeah, I think we pretty much have everything we need on the site. All we need to do is style it and structure it so that it looks like what is on the left. So I think we shall leave this here for now, and before next week, before our next lesson next week on Saturday, I'll be completing the styling thing. I'll just share a video and then I'll send it to you guys in the group, how you can style and put things in place so that what we have on the left, so that what you have on the right is exactly what we have on the left by using styles. And styling, that's CSS, cascading style sheets, will be our next lesson next Saturday. So I'll just go use the styles to style our simple web component here, so that it gives you a simple introduction of what we are going to cover next week on Saturday. I'm going to make this code available in the video when I share it. I'll just put a link where you can find this code if you want to build on it, or if you want to compare with your code, the code that you have developed or the code that you're going to develop. I'll just include a link to this code. Thanks for attending. I mean, it's been really great having you guys company and trying to learn some HTML.